Okay, so this is Chandra, my project horse, and so if you see, on this side my reins are loose, and on this side my rein is tighter. So I got both reins in my hands, but I'm not working them both. So if I want to go off to the side, I'm going to put my hand way off over here. So it's mostly a visual thing. She will get some feel on the on the basal, but it's mostly visual. She'll get a pre-signal, and then she'll look to see what my hands are doing. See, right now she wants to go, so I'm just stopping her, and I'm stopping her by using this rein. Now I'm switching to no reins because she stopped. But I only do one rein at a time. See? That was my right rein. Right rein. There. And it's just a touch. Usually all I'm doing is closing my hand, like right now. This is usually how I hold my reins. So I want to get her stopping. So I'm taking one rein up. Now I'm taking right rein. Stand. So this horse is Buddy Sour. She's not too bad. Okay. So I want to go to the left, so I'm going to take my rein way out to the left. And it's mostly visual. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure that I put on her. So we're going off to the left again. And now my reins are neutral. Now she is very zigzaggy, and she doesn't like to go on the shoulder. The second time I've had her out. So we'll see how things go today. I was smart enough to bring my crop because I don't want to spank her too hard with the Makati, and it's just easier to use a crop. She has a habit of stopping and starting and stopping and starting. And that's okay right now. I don't want her going fast down the hill, so all I do is I wiggle my hand in time with her movement. Actually, Carson James has a video like that, but he's using a snaffle, I think. It's mostly going off of leg and seat. Hopefully this guy will chill out. She's very good about vehicles, so she's just not so good with walking straight at this point. Alright, you don't need to scramble down. There's a girl. Easy, easy. You can tell when I put pressure on the nose, because she has a habit of pushing against it. And the thing is, because there's no steady pressure, she's never going to run into any real resistance, because you signal quick and you get out quick and light. I'm trying to keep my hands a little further forward so you can see. See, all I do is I close my fingers like this. And I never close my fingers and then hold them. It's like this, like this, like this. And if you need a steady pressure, then the alternative with using a hackamore is, instead of pulling back, you just go like this, so there's lots of vibration on the line. It's kind of like the difference between someone, gently holding their hand on your shoulder or tapping your shoulder. It's really easy to tune out that steady pressure. Of course, I always get phone calls at the most inopportune times, and this is why I hate phone calls. So instead of using steady pressure, you are consistently using an undulating pressure. Right now with her, I'm not doing anything fancy. My goals are staying on the shoulder as much as possible. Keeping moving forward. If she wants to trot, she can trot. If she wants to gait, she can gait. If she wants to walk, I'm extremely happy with that. As long as we're going forward. And, okay, so here, instead of fighting her, sorry about all the bing, bing, bing. Instead of fighting her, I just go in the same direction that she went in. She started to circle back, and once she's circled half of the way around, then it's just a matter of keep going in the circle all the way around until I'm pointed back the way I want it to be. Just trying to stop to eat the grass, but that's just a subterfuge for turning around. And also, it's not good to be teaching a horse that they can stop and eat whenever they want to on a trail. She's doing much better today. We've only had to do one turnaround. I've gotten to my second hill with only one stop. And there's no screaming today. Good girl. The work that I'm doing to teach her to move from behind is taking place at home. Right now she's just a big fatty, so she needs conditioning before we really move out on the trails. And luckily I live in a very hilly area, so it doesn't matter what direction I go in when I leave the driveway, I'm going to be going up and down hills. So now she's nice here. She'll sit her butt down going down a hill, even when she's going fast like that, instead of throwing herself down. So I kind of let her. If she wants to speed up a little bit, that's fine, as long as her butt's underneath her. So see how I keep my hand off to the side here? I'm just tapping the rein, which gives a very similar feel to asking for a whoa or anything else, because of how the reins are connected underneath the chin like that. So that's why I say a lot of what you do with a hackamore is visual. She sees my hand off to the side. She knows I want her to go in that direction. And I just keep my hand out there until she's completed moving over. And of course I am using my leg, but that doesn't show up on the video. She's doing much better today. 2 days ago, so I'll be working her every other day in this workout routine. She was weaving all over the road, and we had one point where that hill that we just came down, she decided we were going to have an argument in the middle of the road, so the cars that would have been coming behind us wouldn't have seen us until they crested the hill. Luckily, my locals are really good, and I was riding at a time when I think it was around 6 p.m. or so. Most people finish work around 4 or 5, so they're home by that time. See, I have very considerate locals. You're all right. That was a good first spook. I would much rather have a horse that spooks all spread eagle like that instead of jumping forward. So she did a spread eagle and then she did a jump forward, but right after it she was calm and she stood quietly. There wasn't any tail swishing, and so I'm pleased with that. I make a point of reassuring and rewarding when I see the behavior I want. I don't want a spook, obviously, but there's no way to get a spook out of a horse. So the behavior I want is a sort of a flinchy spook, so I'll reward that. If they feel that they need to scoot forward, I usually won't get too much in their way, because I learned from Mark Rashid that horses, when they experience stress or trauma, I know trauma is a bit of a strong word, but it's a better term. When they experience some trauma that makes them frightened, they get rid of it by running. So if she feels she needs to go forward and we're going at a trot or a gait or a walk, I'll let her do that. If she starts scrambling into a canter, I'll bring her back to a trot, but I'll let her keep moving forward until she feels that she's shed it. And that's something I can't really explain. It's just a feeling of relaxation. The horse isn't tense anymore, and they want to slow down. Okay, so last time we came through here, it was a little more overcast and this rock cut wasn't quite so visible. That's a girl. Good girl. This is more what our ride was like yesterday, or 2 days ago. I was in town yesterday. I really don't want you on the pavement. There we go, sweetie. I don't want her on the pavement. She doesn't want to be on the shoulder. So we had these little arguments. But part of the Vaquero tradition is teaching a horse to be, that they have a say in decisions, and giving them some, sorry I knocked the camera, giving them responsibility for their own feet. So as soon as I get generally what I'm looking for, I just get out of her way and let her go. I don't keep up contact on the reins most of the time, which is quite different from the English style and a lot of Western riders too. I want to get in, get out. So I get in, I give my cue, and then they get the release, even if they aren't fully doing what I want. But if they make a motion or they feel like they are moving me in the direction that I want, then they get a release. And then you get that light responsiveness, because the horse starts realizing that you'll get out of their way if they can just figure out what you want. And also, being responsible for their own feet gives them confidence, because, like I said, they are making a decision. I mean, it might be a slight decision where, they step on one side of something in the trail as opposed to another if I was thinking going the other way. The only time that I would really insist on it is if there was a dangerous situation, like she decided that she wanted to walk up some mossy bedrock. That would be a bad idea. That sort of thing. Come on, sweetie. Good girl. She does prefer a hard footing. Gets a little bit nervous on this shoulder. She's just not sure of it. Whoa. Good girl. So once I get a better idea of who she is and whatnot, I won't be stopping when I see vehicles come. Okay, that part's sketchy. So here, she's made a decision to not go through that. I don't know if it showed up in the camera or not. We had a monsoon rain last week, and there are all these washouts. So that spot, all the sand had been washed out, and you just had those round glacial rubble rocks left. That's your poo from a couple days ago. So this is nice. She's relaxed. She's got her head way down. I don't typically like to ride with a Paso and their head down that far. And I think that a lot of it is her thinking about whether she can manage to snatch a handful of, or mouthful of grass. But if she wants to put her head down, it's going to stretch out her back. And if her head's going down, it means that she's getting relaxed. And that's something that she didn't do for me a couple days ago. So this horse I'm looking to resell because there's a high demand for Pasafinos here in Ontario, and there's a real lack of them for sale. So she's a nice, sensible mare. She's a little bit over 14 hands, and she's very stout, which is not the type of build that I like, but it means that she'll be able to carry a little bit more weight than a horse that's got a narrow build that's the same height. That's all right. But she recovers well from stresses, which is why a couple days ago my first ride was on the road, because I kind of had a read on her and got an idea of what type of horse she is. Good girl. That's a good girl. That's the kind of spook that I want. I don't think I've had a car pass us from behind yet. Good girl. Good girl. She did tense up a little bit, but then she decided that she didn't need to go forward, so that's good. See, now I'm on a completely loose rein. And that feels better for the horse when you're not on there constantly barking orders, go this way, go that way, slow down, go faster. I just sort of, when I first work in these horses, when I first get them, I just go slow. And pretty much sit on them. I'm more of a passenger at first, trying to read the horse and see what they need. What she needs right now is conditioning, some refreshers, and working on her backup. Her backup is terrible, terrible. Good girl. That's a good girl. I don't normally hold my hands way out here, but I'm trying to keep them in view for you, so you can see what I'm doing, which is not a whole lot. Okay, she's a little nervous of this car coming, so I'm going to turn her to face the car. There we go. Whoop. So since she's relaxed, I'm going to go a little bit further today. A couple days ago, I turned around maybe 200 meters back from where I am right now. So I'm going to take her up here because there's a big excavator. See how she reacts to that. It's just parked, so it's not moving at all, but it is a big unusual thing, and I don't know if she's ever seen one or how she's going to react. So we'll go up here and circle around the community center and then go back home. So now she's getting a little nervous here because I haven't taken her down here yet. So she's behaving along here the way she did when I first took her out a couple days ago. She is taking some looks. Oh, and we got a tanker truck too. Good girl. Well, she is swishing. I'm going to get her onto the grass so that I'm in a little bit of a safer place for her to dance around if she wants to. Take a look at the sign. Yeah, She's a little bit flinchy. And here's a little flag on the ground. Doesn't care about that. Here's the excavator. And she's definitely doesn't want to get too close to it, but I'm going to ask her to. See how we do. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, a little bit flinchy. Okay. Now, I got a decent backup there. Just a few steps, because she already had it in her mind that that's what she wanted to do. And you sort of take those opportunities that fall in your lap. She has got some nice feet. We're going over this gravel. Going over gravel on hard packed ground, and she has yet to take a tender step for me, so that's real good. Most people up here, certainly in the Bancroft area, go completely barefoot, so mostly for financial reasons, but it's the healthier option, so if the horse can do it, and if not, that's where I try to help and get them comfortable and wean them out of boots. So here we are turned around. Just a little bit iffy because there's signs and things she's likely not seen before. So see, her head has come up more, and I can feel she's harder. Her back feels harder on under the saddle. I've got her in a ratty English saddle because that's the only thing that fits her right now. She's so fat. English saddles are a little more forgiving. And this one, even though it's not technically a flex tree, it does flex a little bit. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna have to answer that. Maybe. I can see who it is. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do. It's an 11 o'clock appointment. Yep. Yep. Okay, well, try Toby, because I'm training her dog, so she likes to come up and see the dog every 4 days when she can, so that would work out great. Okay, thanks. Bye. Well, I was very happy with Chandra. She didn't try to put her head down or try anything sketchy. She felt relaxed, which is why I felt okay to answer the phone. Yeah, I'm surprised at how fast she's coming along. So, Murphy's Law strikes again. I had to change out the battery, and just as I was doing that, some guy was getting into his car and slammed his truck door, which spooked her. And then every single little noise and zip and accidental tap with the crop, because I just was letting it dangle like this because I needed my hands to change out these batteries. Sending her in a bit of a tizzy, but the nice thing is all she did really was tighten up and scooch forward a little bit. There wasn't any offer to bolt or anything like that, and she came down when I gave her some reassuring words, so she's still a little bit tight, but she'll release that soon, I'm sure. Oh, wow, that was our first tender step. I wonder what she stepped on. It was a piece of gravel over top of the pavement, so it wasn't any give to it. Where are you going? That's Casey's place. This isn't home. I have to rig up a breast collar for this dinky English saddle, because it's not staying forward very well. Yeah, it's a little touchy now. Maybe I need to pick up my crop. There. Now it won't accidentally tap her. Yeah, alright, sweetie. I'm not so concerned with going uphill on the pavement, because all it will do is wear her toe down, but going downhill is going to basically sand off her heels, and she definitely is going to need those up here. Butterflies. Come on, we can't go on that side. There's washouts. So this here is what my trails typically look like. And now you see why she needs heels. If she has no heels and she's walking on her heel bulbs, that's not going to feel very good. And she'll start walking toe first, and I'll have all sorts of problems. This hill is the best for conditioning because it's long and winding and gradual, except for this little bit where it gets steep, but it just keeps going and going, so it really pushes them to work out. I like the long gradual hills for conditioning better than the short steep ones, but they both do a good job, and they really teach a horse to push from behind. When we first start off doing these hills, it's sort of stop and go, and you'll feel a sudden push. They dig in from behind, and then things start to become more consistent because they just keep pushing from behind instead of pulling from the front. Oh, this will be good. What a good girl. Wow. I thought we were going to have a spook there for sure. Coming through a rock cut and having that big noisy tanker go past. So, see, when her head comes up like that, I don't necessarily scramble to pick up more rein. Because when you do that, it's sort of, when a horse gets tense and they pull their head up and you think that they might try something that you don't want, often the gathering of reins creates tension. It communicates tension to the horse, so then they think they've got a reason to be tense. Good girl. So they think they've got a reason to be tense, and then they do tense up. So now in that case, I had to grab the reins because she did do something, but all it took, the slack in the reins really didn't come out. What happened was I moved my hands down the reins and it lifted the hackamore off her chin a little bit, but it didn't hit her jaw yet. So she felt that signal and she basically stopped her little scoot forward, and then I let go of the reins immediately. So it's really important that they get a release when they do the right thing, and that if you can at all avoid it, when you get a spook like that, that you don't yank on the reins for balance to keep yourself from toppling backwards. Really, you should be going off your seat as much as you can. Now, it's not always possible, as my little Chica has these really powerful bursts forward sometimes, and she has spooked like that a couple of times. Unfortunately, now that was me, so now I was trying to break off a branch there. So now I know that she needs some work going underneath trees and doing some trimming because it's making her nervous. I'm putting my hand up, my right hand that has my crop in it, I'm putting that up so she suddenly sees the crop and that she might think, oh, okay, well, I better go forward, and it's just tensing her up. So I don't think I'll bring the crop next time because I only used it once in the beginning and then I didn't need it. Let's see, I'm gonna raise my crop hand. Oh, didn't make her nervous. It's also windy out here, and this is only the second time I've ridden her, and it's on the road. And she had a scare and never seemed to get over it. Just that guy closing the truck door, and he didn't slam it, it just was enough to make a noise that she wasn't anticipating. Easy. Good girl. Easy. Alright, you're alright. There you go, good girl. Alright. Just leaves on my helmet. Okay, I'm gonna try and go under here and get that noise going. Oh, missed it. We'll go down there sometime, just not now. Yeah, that's better. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good girl. I like to ask for a whoa when I do. I don't know if you can see, but here's how my reins were when I'll ask for a whoa again. Mostly going off the right rein. Whoop, 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 whoop. One rein at a time. See, I pull and then I get out. Pull and then get out. Pull and then get out. There. Okay, work on. the difference between me asking her to move off to the side and me asking for a whoa is my hand position. So I'll pull back on one rein, but I'll be pulling straight back, whereas if I say I want her to go over to the left, I move my hand way over here and I barely touch the rein. So move to the right, hand goes over to the side, she can see my hand. Okay, so now I'm going to ask for a whoa using the right rein. Woo, 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 woo. Good girl. Now because she doesn't fully understand the hackamore, her butt goes off to the side. Woo. There we go. But I'm almost home and she's very nervous to go forward and continue even though she's backing up. This is just her trying to do something because she feels like she needs to move. So her solution is to move backwards. I seem to be extremely popular on this ride, of course. I swear, when I'm sitting at home at the computer and doing nothing, I almost never get a phone call. It always happens when I'm right in the middle of doing something and my hands are busy and I can't answer the bloody phone. It's so annoying. And of course, there's no way for the caller to know that. It's just, I hate phone calls. Ooh. Okay, so another thing I might do is alternate which rein I use to ask for my whoa, so sort of like a seesaw, but not quite as much pressure. Stand. Stand. Good girl, because I'm not getting off till you're standing still. Right. There's a girl. So that's my ride on Chandra today.